Make no attempt to reload your device. You are now entering the Hellhole.
Welcome back to the Hellhole. Welcome back to the Stanley Parable. And if you are curious, what you just saw pre-intro was live. If you were here last time I played Stanley Parable, we went across some of the pre-game game, and that's what that was. Some sort of a dialogue with an unidentified person. Interesting. It seems like we might be able to find them. I'm hoping that the game will resume where I was, but I'm not sure that it will. I was pursuing an adventure line last time you were with me. We'll dive back in and see what we can see. I've been very curious about what lies ahead.
This is the story of a man.
Okay, well, we've done that. So if this is any indication, yeah, damn. So I'd lost where I was. How did I get the adventure line? I don't even remember. What does this game know about my play so far, I wonder? What does it retain? What is this red light? Surely that implies something. Can't seem to do anything with this stuff. Anything over here? You gotta think there's something going on in here. But I don't know what. So if you weren't here with me last time, the Stanley Parable is it's a guy named Stanley. He's in an office building. Everyone's disappeared. And strange things are afoot. Every time we go through, we can discover new things. I guess we'll carry on.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
That's so. So many doors, so little going on.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did it advance the story in any way.
Yeah. What's going on in there? So, I don't remember how I got to the adventure line.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Did I though? Did I really? Let's go this way.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Was this it? So last time I had just had some sort of fail on the adventure line, but when it restarted, the adventure line was still there.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
What happens if you press this
here,
again?
It's, left.
Okay, you can't.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Actually, that reminds me, we got to keep our eyes out for a bucket as well. There was a sign somewhere that said, no buckets past that point.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not
again.
supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
104 was fired.
kidding.
234 has got
It's rubbish
something
now.
on it.
The whole
I
story
can't
completely
tell
unusable.
what.
How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Really?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This rotary phone makes me curious. Why is there a rotary phone next to a Who Farted mug? See, this dude's got a more contemporary phone. Still might not be state of the art, but it's not a rotary phone. I still don't know what turning these monitors or these computers off does. I really don't know anything. I am the blind, fumbling my way through.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
Familiar?
No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
I don't know if this can actually go anywhere or not. Last time I just got
I'll say it.
cut off.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
There it is again.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
So will this get me to the adventure line? No.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
It was slightly unsettling that the doors make no noise.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it come. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
I had a win in Fall Guys just before I came on stream. That was kind of fun. My first legit crown. I'm sure I'll share that with you some stage. It's on Twitter right now if you're interested. All right, here's the adventure line, so we can sort of resume.
All right,
as
I've
we
got
were.
a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Now, as I recall, I couldn't turn this one off.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
I hope this is a joke. I'm not going to remember that.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Should I? Oh, that's where it started. Never mind.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ooh, there's another fired. So will it be different this time? Or should we ignore
You
the
know
line?
what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Ooh. New door.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
It's a
Go
loop.
wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
So should I go back to not acknowledge the line? Ah, the line's gone. Never mind.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes?
Deviate from maintenance room.
Determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean Did we do
Ready
it?
to restart
Did
the
we break the
game.
cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
All right. I don't know how many endings I've found. Presumably that's one of them.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, this is back. I don't know how to find all the others. I don't know what these mean, but I figure something
No matter
will
how
happen.
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ooh, new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
This is very Hitchhiker's Guide.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Yay. That's us, guys.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Ooh.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Yeah, but look at it, man. It's got a brick wall.
Is it broken?
It's
What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle. Is Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
So I wonder, could I skip this completely and go into that elevator, thus deviating? Or, yeah, I'll play along. $35 jumps remaining. Can I, what if I take the jumps with me? Now I've got 35 jumps.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? No, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Sure,
It's my
pal.
fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Well, that was funny. I wonder, do I still have 35 jumps? Or is it just going to reset? And will there be an opportunity to use those jumps? Let's try to keep it in the back of our minds. Well, this is different. Is this part of the previous? Actually, for the jumps to work, they use X. That's the interact thing. So I'm guessing maybe the jumps either are very specific, or I don't have them.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
I could go in the vent.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made? Well, fine.
Yeah, no,
You're a
I will.
dork anyway,
I
so
will.
who cares?
All right, mate.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
The font and the design of this game is very tasteful. I like that.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just
Ooh.
our little secret. Take a look.
Wow.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Pressurized gas. So that's the Steam page. If you don't know what Steam is, that's an online PC gaming store. I assume everyone knows that. Maybe in the future someone won't. Just give me a second. We'll go down the memory lane in mere moments. Forget it. What do we got? 2013, when the Stanley Parable was released, but I believe it was a mod before it was released as a game unto itself. I don't know if that's correct, or maybe it was a mod in the initial conception. I'm really not sure. I shouldn't speculate. Is that a BAFTA or something? I don't know. That name is clearly written on. I'm not sure if it actually won any awards. Wow. Is there a disc version? I believe for Ultra Deluxe that achievement has changed to not playing for 10 years. So that'll be interesting. British Academy Award nominee. Is that legit? Could be. Don't know. Got my doubts. Who's Little Stanley? What is that? Is that a rat? Aww. I don't want to think about that, man.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content. Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Well, I don't have my jumps. That's clear. How do I get in there? It's taunting me. So is this the game spot? If you want to read that, you can read that in your own time. Just pause. So I guess I kind of missed the initial buzz, or I don't remember it.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Whoa.
Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Angry FPS weirdos.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
Obviously an American.
Funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
I wouldn't say, no.
Preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
Preachy about what?
For me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I mean, you got to take the bad with the good with the bad, and receive it in its appropriate context. Some of these reviews are not receiving the game in their appropriate context. Those reviews probably aren't of great value. We don't need more games that appeal to everyone. A lot of games are trying to do that. We need games that set out to achieve something, and I think the Stanley Parable has been very good at that. I haven't played something like this in a while, I would say. It has a fairly singular voice. I appreciate that. It's a good thing.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
See, some people just bounce off story in video games. To me, video games are just another storytelling medium. They are akin to movies and, you know, written storytelling, all these mediums. It's just another medium for storytelling, and I think that is generally, you know, there are experiential games, there are sports-like games, esports, things like that, that certainly excel on the value of the experience and having been experienced. But I think ultimately storytelling is how you have a medium that can continue and exist.
Incessant droning starts to bore you. With just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore
So just going to keep looping until I skip.
It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah.
Is there going to be something if I let it run?
We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore
The baby game is
so
4
on and
hours.
so
I'm
forth,
looking up
until
to see if anybody
inevitably
knows.
We all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now
Apparently
you see,
someone,
blah, blah, blah,
Pedro
blah, blah,
Puzzle
blah, blah,
Polo,
blah,
has
blah,
waited
blah,
3
blah, blah,
hours and
blah.
nothing
We've eaten too
happened.
much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture.
Half
It went
Mooner,
on for nearly
half underscore
10,000
Mooner,
years, until
waited
just yesterday,
what he
here and
describes
there,
as
forward and back,
whole
and never a
night.
moment before lunchtime.
Nothing happened.
It can't be. It's the only only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices.
JoJo's
And
38
therefore, by becoming
speculates
it
that
is,
12
so on and
hours
so
might
forth,
be the
until
key.
inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a
I'm
moment
not
before
seeing
lunchtime.
any indication that you
It's the
can
only thing
get
there
anything
is.
by
How many
not
billions
skipping.
left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible
It's
to
tempting to
manufacture.
just
It
go
went on
all
for
day and
nearly
night with this, but
10,000
let's go.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will.
Yeah.
See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
Yeah,
got it?
right.
Yes, good. I'll be right back.
It's been a few hours with the skips. I don't think the tree has changed. That's a little quick. Tree growth. Now I wonder if waiting does anything.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, now we
I
get
have someone
somewhere.
to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything. is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it. Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace. in the darkness.
What is that beeping, I wonder? Oh. Is it a smoke alarm? Oh no. Is it out of battery? The clock's fallen. The tree's dead.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demand. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves that they couldn't help but leave a negative review on pressurized gas. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, but they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to...
This is giving me a lot to think about. I'm definitely not going mildly insane.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is
He
never
is.
the end, is never the end, is never the
He's
end,
gone
is never
insane,
the
yeah.
end, is never the end, is never the end, is
That-
never
that's
the
okay.
end, is never the end, is the end, is never 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 the
Something's tripping.
end, is never the 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 end.
Is it right where you are?
Is never the end, is
Something,
never the
something,
end, is never the
something.
end, is never the
Yeah.
end, is never.
I've forgotten what we're doing. Oh, more lakes. Is the ceiling gonna cave in? Let's find out! The ceiling caved in. That's what water damage will do. You do not want water damage, people. You gotta deal with that shit. Oh yeah. Yep. Water damage. Hey, sunshine. Whoa. They're called books, Wiener. Books! You read them! Oh. That's a little ominous. Is the sun extinguished? Have the stars gone out? Is all that remains dark and horrible? Oh. Is the skip button broken? We seem to be sinking now. Oh, there's a hole over here. We can look. What do you got? Yes. Yes, that'll do. And now we're in Abzu. Right. Should we wander out into the desert? I presume it's just gonna restart. Interesting. Is the earth barren? Suffocated? Lifeless? Or were we always in the desert? These questions we ask with no answer. Good thing the end is never the end. We're back. Yay. The end is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I really like the idea of just winging it, but at some point I guess I'm going to have to start looking some things up, because I don't really know what some of these things are doing, like the computers.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I don't know what the computers are doing. There's got to be some fine wrinkles
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
New
Nor
content.
did it advance the story in any way.
Oh, that's awfully compelling. Let's do this. New content.
Oh, good.
Come on.
You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Might wrap it up after this. I feel like I still haven't really seen that much. I don't know how many endings there are. I think I remember a number like 50 being cited. I've surely only seen a few. And I feel like I've been hitting a lot that mention Ultra Deluxe, so...
You see,
really don't
Stanley,
know.
I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Whoa. A sequel?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory
man.
we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Hey, look, I'm down with the sequel. Remakes
Calling
suck.
it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Remakes suck. DLC's unsatisfying sometimes. Give me that full sequel. I'm down with that. Although, quite frankly, Ultra Deluxe does seem to be more than adequate as a console first. I'm enjoying it. More the Stanley Parable, better the Stanley Parable. Synergy. They've got it all worked out. Yeah. Sold.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Give it the double I, man. Whoa.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh. Is this gonna give me... Oh, there's a bucket. Is this where we get a bucket? I feel like this is presenting me a whole heap of branching options. Interesting. Interesting. Is this going to be like the Ultra Deluxe hub? Is that what we're looking at here? Kind of feels like it.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you!
Brilliant.
The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Yeah, sure. I like it. So that was the Jim ending.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
You know, I gotta take a screenshot of this. We'll tweet that out later for the kids. What is that? Hey, look. We've still got 35
You know what,
jumps.
Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Gonna keep those. They might come in handy. Man, there's still quite a lot to see. Hey, that's him. That's Stanley.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Is that shifting? If I keep at it, is it gonna work? Is this like the Sonic barrel? Should I be pressing up and down? Is that the real trick? Wonder if I should keep at that.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Can you find them? Is this...
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines.
What?
And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh. That's good.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Where's the bucket? I saw something about a bucket. Kinda wanna stop, but I don't wanna stop and then not come back.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket,
There
the
it
many
is.
disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Ooh. We have bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact,
We have
can I say
bucket.
that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well. I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more awaits you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Dunk, dunk, dunk. We have bucket. We have bucket. Ding, ding, ding. We have bucket. How do I get out of here? Oh, wow. I could go the epilogue. There was something else. That's all the name. The name button. There's an infinite hole over here.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloon. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
That's very good.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
I like that. What is down here? Holy moly. Fair enough.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I mean, is that something that I really want to do? Sure, why not?
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
What happens if we wait, though? Maybe I like the hole. Ever think of that, smart guy? Anything? Anything? Everything? It puts the lotion on the skin. It puts the lotion in the bucket. It puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose. Nothing.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven... You see...
Back in?
I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all. But not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh... Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Oh, gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow, okay, yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Now, how is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Right. Oh. It's working. It's working. Whoa. Whoa. Everything is my delusion. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa, what? What the?
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley?
Ah,
Oh,
what?
good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
I gotta wind it up, man. It's getting late.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Wonder how I get out with the bucket.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
I thought for a second I was going to just walk out into a white void. Into a white void with mine bucket. Oh, Scheiße. Well, I'm getting awfully tired. It might be time to wrap this up. How do I do that? I don't know. If I quit, will the bucket remain with me, or is there a way out of here, I wonder? A particular exit that will take me back to the main game, allowing me to bring the bucket with me. Free trophy collectibles, mostly infinite haul. Oh, there, exit. So the exit is this way. Here we go, exit. Yeah. Right.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Oh, what's this? Somebody's left a bag. Whoa. New mug. That's pretty funny. I'm taking a screenshot. Don't tell anyone. I did, during this stream, tweet out a screenshot. If you're interested, you can find me on Twitter at Hellhole. The letter T, the word Hellhole. There's nothing in between. Hellhole.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in
Get
there
me outta
somewhere.
here.
Say, let's do an experiment.
Get me out of here.
Arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Is this going to reset? Oh, how about this? As is. I like this.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building
balloons.
where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So was that just the regular intro with a
All of
two
his co-workers
and the
were
balloons?
gone. What could it mean?
That's very good.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I hope it remembers my progress because I gotta wrap this up. Oh. We got two. We did this already. See, I'm gonna stop now. Is that only in a single play, maybe? Single sitting?
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
The bucket. Where is the bucket? It's right there.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Now, where was that sign that said,
Stanley clutched the
No
bucket tightly
buckets.
to his chest and entered the door on his left.
did I? Where was that? I can't remember where that sign was, so I'm trying to find out. Trying to get some answers. Okay, I gotta go right. Employee
This was not the
lounge and
correct
then
way
the
to meeting
warehouse.
room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the
Okay.
employee lounge was simply the place to
So I already did this in the last playthrough, but I don't remember it. There is a sign that
And
says
here it
no
was.
buckets
Had
beyond
the
this
bucket
point.
turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
Here we
The bucket
go.
was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting
Pass
room.
through the employee lounge into the warehouse. Is this the warehouse? How do I get to the warehouse? Ah, man. My brain is the infinite hole. It is well after 3 a.m. right now. How do I get to the frickin'... Oh no. I can't remember how I get there. How do I get to the frickin' warehouse? Pass through the employee lounge into the warehouse. So, oh yeah, this is it. Never mind.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley
Shut up,
did not
bucket.
question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Is this it? Is this the
No,
sign?
stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Why am I getting into these things? I need to stop. Oh.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Alright.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Seems to be.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
That's a dirty trick, man.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Well, of course I'm going to say no, and then it is, so I'll say yes, but then it won't be.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket not still a bucket? Does the construction of a bucket really matter?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
I say no, and then it is.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
That's a filthy lie.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What are you even doing?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one.
What's your
It's around
game, man?
here somewhere. Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket.
Do we?
When I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No, I'm not trying to say that.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Don't you do it. You son of a
What
bitch.
happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Well, I'm going to call it a night. This has been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. This is, it's twisting and turning in strange and unusual ways. It's twisting my melon, man. But I'm enjoying it, and it looks like there's still going to be plenty more to dig into and find. We got to work out what's going on with this bucket. Hopefully we can just resume, but I got a feeling that that won't be the case. Oh, lordy. This feels like it's not a game that you want to be just dropping in and playing sparingly. Oh, man. Well, I'm enjoying this. Hopefully it'll resume. If you want to check out more Stanley Parable, right now it's in the archive on Twitch. I played a whole heap a couple of days ago, yesterday, day before, and I played a whole heap now, and it's going to be archived on YouTube at some point. Not right now, but soon. I think. Actually, no, that's not right. The first round is on YouTube. So if you search for Stanley Parable Hellhole, you should be able to find me. That's Hellhole, one word. And you can always use that to get to the channel, where there's a whole heap of stuff in the backlog. I've just played Shredder's Revenge as well, but that's not going to be there yet. It will be in the future when maybe you are watching this, in which case go seek it out. But give it a couple of days if you're catching up quickly. Make sure you go follow. We're trying to get those big follower numbers. I think I'm about 9 or 10 away from playing the mystery game, which is what I really would like to be doing. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, get them to go follow Mig Lucifer on Twitch so we can play the mystery game. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure we've got lots of other fun things coming up. I'm enjoying the Stanley Parable. I hope you're enjoying the Stanley Parable, and no doubt we'll be back here playing again real soon. I'm getting real tired. Adios, amigos. Everything is a bucket. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture of a duck. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture of a duck. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture of a duck. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture of a duck. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture of a duck. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture of a duck. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture of a duck. It's just a picture, just a picture. It's just a picture, just